Okay, how we doing everybody? My Advanced Warfare freaks, fanboys and people who are just generally on the fence about this game and not altogether too sure whether to make a valid purchase. I'm going to bring you a gameplay here and I'm going to talk about the classic playlist, or otherwise known as the non-EXO playlist, and I'm going to be talking about the features in that, how it plays, and a few other bits and pieces. But before I do, I first of all wanted to apologise for not uploading yesterday. I really did want to, but I simply had to let my voice cool down a little bit because I've really lost my voice yesterday. My God, I haven't raged so much in my life. Those of you who've been waiting for the Rage and Fails compilation, believe me, I've got enough footage to do a very short one, and I'm gathering footage by the fucking hour. So yeah, there's plenty of frustrating moments. A lot of people have been saying to me in the comments section, is this game more exciting than Call of Duty Ghosts? Can you just tell me that much? And my answer to that would be, number one, first of all, sitting in an insurance seminar for 5 hours listening to some pretentious comb-over twat telling you how much you need this insurance policy to cover your family when you're no longer here is more interesting and exciting than Call of Duty Ghosts, as far as I'm concerned, and that's just my own personal preference. But as far as this game goes, hell yes, it is more exciting than Call of Duty Ghosts. There is a lot more to offer, there's a lot more value to it, there's a lot more excitement, the maps are more pleasing to the eye. It's just all round more fun. It really is. Frustrating, definitely frustrating. There are a lot of creases in here that need to be ironed out, and I'm confident that Sledgehammer will get there in the end and they will fix the problems. But once those are fixed, I think we're in for a serious game here. I really do. And this is me. I've said before, I want to give you kind of the negatives along with the positives as well, because I want people to make a valid purchasing decision. So, the non-EXO playlist, what does it involve? Well, basically, as it obviously says on the tin, you lose some of your EXO abilities. Now, you don't lose all of them. You only lose things such as the boost jump, the boost strafe, the boost sort of slide thing, boost slams and things like that. So all of the accentuated movements have all been taken away. However, there's some of them that have been left in, such as the EXO abilities. So things like your cloaking ability, the stim ability, the ability to sort of regenerate health beyond the normal level, so almost like a bit of an instant juggernaut, essentially. So those sort of abilities are kept. I found this out quite early on when I was playing a team deathmatch game where there was a guy, I came around the corner and there was a guy simply just head glitching, and I wasn't ready for him. He shot me down, but I saw him as bold as day. Now in the kill cam it's shown him just equip his invisibility cloaking, and he shot me immediately straight after, and in the kill cam he was actually invisible to himself, but to me he stuck out like a sore thumb. So I don't really know what happened there. Maybe they don't work as well, but you do see some people running around with the cloaking on and they are very easy to see. So all those people who was worried about the invisibility don't. It really isn't a problem. These people are like bowls of jelly running around the map. They're very easy to spot even from a long distance, so that is nothing to worry about. So, talking about the non-EXO playlist, what are my experiences and what are my thoughts about it? My experiences with it are, there's sort of highs and there's lows. It's sort of a double-edged sword, so to speak. Now, the one thing I would say is you can tell that it was a kind of last-minute decision to put this playlist in there. And obviously, Sledgehammer felt the pressure from the community, because a lot of people, when they saw the EXO abilities, such as the boost jump and things, were like, no, we don't want another fucking Crisis or Titanfall. What is this shit? So obviously they had to do the roundtable meeting with Tea and Biscuits and say, shit, people aren't happy here. We need to cater to the people who really do not want to be fucking doing this. Keep the maps, but take away the EXO abilities. The problem is that the maps are catered for the EXO playlist, so for the regular playlist, i.e. every corner you turn, every part of the map you are on, there is essentially buildings all around you, and there are buildings on top of buildings that are on top of a hill. So everywhere you look, there are points where you can get up to that are very high points. Now that creates a bit of a problem when you're kind of walking around in a rushing sense with your awareness, because you don't find that, whereas once upon a time you used to rush forward and look left and look right and then look up maybe, now you have to look left, right, up, down, side, do a 360 and then move on, and it causes quite a lot of problems because there are people literally everywhere. Because even though the EXO ability has been taken away to jump on these platforms, the ladders are still there. So what people tend to do, and this is just the community's fault, is they climb up a selection of ladders and hide, simply. The campers are very real. Trust me on that one. They are very, very, very fucking real. They tend to put And I understand why they did this, because let me just tell you something. With regards to the maps, they are fantastic. There's one or two maps that I don't particularly like very much, but the majority of the maps are fucking so pleasing to the eye, and they're very smart how they've been done, because most of the maps generally have a lot of access points that you can go underground, sideways, very far to the outsides of the map that you generally wouldn't have seen anyway. I'm still, sort of exploring parts of the map that I didn't know that were there. And a lot of the features on the maps involve, points that you do head glitch behind. There's a lot of random boxes that are put on top of roofs. Now, that is a smart move, because if you're moving around and you're boost jumping and somebody sees you in the distance while you're vulnerable in the end, starts shooting at you, the easiest thing to do is to hit the X button, I think it's the X button or the A button, and instantly take a dive down and hide behind the box while you regain your composure and then jump again. So in the normal playlist there's not too many sort of campers, but in the non-exo playlist people generally climb up on top of these roofs and take advantage of the boxes that are there for good reason and use them for bad. Now that is frustrating, because like I say, it's almost like you can't rush in the Black Ops 2 sense. Like if you've got a submachine gun in Black Ops 2, if you're like me, you can just run around like a headless chicken and do okay. Whereas in this you can't. The way you kind of rush is sort of like the Modern Warfare 3 sort of sense, where you take a few steps, have a little look around, take a few more steps, have a little look around, and you're very aware of what's going on around you, and a lot of the times you do get caught. Now, the good news about that is that there's no like bouncing betties or things like that, so you don't have to worry about that too much, but there's bouncing betties in the form of people hiding in the darkest areas, and believe me, some of the maps on this game are so fucking dark, it is insane. There's one map, and I'll talk about this again, you will see this in the Rage and Fails compilation, there's one map where the room is black. There are parts of the room where you stand in a corner and you cannot be fucking seen, and there are many parts of the corners of this room that sort of cater for the horrible people. So it doesn't really work, it doesn't really work in that sense. It's great that you can, play without the exo abilities, because sometimes it can get a little bit tiresome doing all the boost jumping and things, that it's nice to just go back to a little bit of what you know. But like I say, it was just kind of a last minute decision, and unfortunately what they could have maybe done is take a couple of ladders away, maybe moved a couple of the boxes off the top of the map, because they can do this, they did this with Modern Warfare 2 and Favela, people would jump on top of that roof where the banana plants were, and those banana plants were bulletproof. So what they did was Infinity Ward got a gardener in to go on the top of the map and shear some of the banana plants down so that people couldn't do that. So they can take these features out, and maybe they will, maybe that's something that they will hit on a little bit later on, but unfortunately it does kind of spoil it. It's sort of like a bit of a lastminute.com, and I get why they did it, but it's like walking into a McDonald's and saying, can I have a Big Mac meal please? Oh, sorry, we don't do the Big Macs anymore. Now we do the Big Kahuna fucking Mac. It's got cheese, it's got bacon, it's got guacamole, it's got salsa, it's got a fucking cat in it somewhere, and it's landed on one big dustbin lid sized piece of fucking bun. And you're like, no, I just want a Big Mac. I don't like this advanced fucking burger. Please give me the regular Big Mac. And they say, okay, we'll see what we can do. And they just go in the kitchen and scrape all the extra trimmings off and just give you a regular Big Mac, what was left inside, but still inside the 2 large pieces of bread. So you simply have to just eat through a mountain of fucking dough until your stomach swells before you get to the meat. That's what it's sort of like. It's just lastminute.com, wasn't thought out, but I think if they paid it a little bit of attention, it could work, and it could cater for the people who don't want to be doing this boost jumping. Also, as well, on a very, very, very final note, in the non-exo playlist, the quickscopers are real. Apocalypse done.